All right, let's do this. At the last meetup group, or I think right before that, I did post on a message about on the Slacks today. Has anyone ever tackled being rejected by Google? And of course, it's like, oh yeah, read the email. Just what David just said a second ago. It's like, I don't know if this was even helpful, but so hopefully I'm going to try to tell the story about how I kind of helped our team get unstuck, and we actually got it through. But this process started in middle of July, and it was just approved like about last week. Oh, no. And I'm gonna go through all these things that for helping. And then on another thing, I did bring a bunch of stickers. So if you need some new stickers, throw on your MacBook or something that I've picked up over the years, make sure you grab one. All right. So I am set. And you guys can hear and see me online? All right, let's do this. All right, so my name is Anthony Carlson. I said earlier, I work for Nebraska Medicine. We basically build a medical health app, right? It's an app that uses a third-party health library that's used throughout the country. And we use that to do a self-branded Nebraska Medicine iOS and Android app. So if you've read in this or not, if you've been doing any updates, you've had to actually go in and hit my app is not publicly expressed, CDC. There's been a lot of people that, if you do look on Reddit, that were complaining about this because they're going, why am I getting flagged for COVID? But it's because they made you go in and say that no, that you are not a contact or tracing app. But Nebraska Medicine Health app is, because inside of there is a module that, like with all your other vaccinations, it will tell you your status. So because that's in there, we have to officially declare. And so you had till like July 2023 to mark if you are, because we didn't know for a while, but when we hit yes, that's when we did a submission. And we got the nice nasty gram from Google Play support, right? That says you are rejected. And then this is like the longest, talk about prominent disclosures, privacy policy. They told us like all these permissions needed it because these were all, I guess, in our app. They started talking about because of the requirements. We had to go through about what does all this mean now, just to be able to do that. So Google's doing their due diligence, right? So let's kind of share, hopefully, let's see, I'll zoom in a little, some of it goes through and it's like, man, they just talk about because the vaccine app requirements, if you're a status app, you have to say in your app, and I'll just say, that there's a little line down here. You also need to alert users, update your listing if you place resend contact trace story. So because we declared it, if we ever want to not declare it, we have to go through almost the same thing. Like we have to tell people that we're not a status app anymore. And, I don't even know what that's going to do. We had to submit proof of advance notice form. I'll go on in a second about that. Policy requirements, all these things. And, half the time when I was reading this, I kept going, is this really what we have to do? Is this the steps that you have to go through just to get the app? Because, it's just hitting that checkbox. Nothing changes, visibility, awareness, so went through this and we went, oh, all right. So let's see. So the first, yeah, go ahead.
You got rejected and then you read all that stuff?
Yeah. We, because,
You didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know until we hit that. And then, on your publishing overview, when it submitted it, it said, no, you are now rejected. And so I'm going to try to talk to some of the things that I learned about this process, besides finally reading this. And I'm just going to come back that I believe the final thing is going to be at the top, how we got through about you need to alert users. I really believe that was the trick. And I'll show you what we did. All right. So advanced notice form. I thought I had a copy real quick about what this was. Uh, demo. Oh yeah. Oh no. All right. So basically, there's a place in there. We had to submit. Every doctor has something called like a NCI number. There's a medical number. Every hospital has one. Everyone has one. And you have to submit. We had to submit like a notarized paper that said Nebraska medicine does health, right? But we also have to pay someone legal to write it up, right? We got to get our legal. So now right there takes a little time in a week to write this up and submit it because that's one of the requirements on there, right? So we did that. We hit submit, right, just to see, and no, we got rejected. We got rejected again. All right. So I did read through. All right. So that was that one. I'm gonna close that out. Another thing, so that's what this advanced notice form. You submit it. Then we started taking a look at like, okay, privacy requirements. Everyone has different permissions, and what does that mean? But because of COVID, are you saying that we need disclosures for everything in your app? Like, we're to use camera and so just use the runtime permissions that you get by default sometimes. Do we really have to make a screen that says I agree or not agree and challenge you every time you open the app? And yes, we did.
Even if they already confirmed.
If you agree, you don't have to do it again, but we have to ask throughout the app. And I'm going, man, a lot of apps I know still out there don't do this. So COVID is getting beat up on that right there. We had to redo our privacy policy. And, if I think about back, we talk about writing, hey, good code. I'm not a good policy, right? This is more sending it to our lawyers and asking them, do you agree? So what we actually did is there's other companies out there that have it. And we went out and looked and went, okay, in here, let's see, I'll maximize it. There's another thing to how do you make this things explicit in your we said Google has determined that Nebraska medicine, we just called Google out. We just said, hey, Google says we have to do this. We use the location data, like all those permissions that we had in there are now exist in our privacy policy, that what we do with your camera photos, microphone, device storage, Bluetooth, call, almost what our screens would say in our app now exist in and laboratory test results. You may choose if you want to act right. So we had to do this, and we still got rejected, right? Just through like, okay, so what does that really mean?
So when they rejected, they sent you the exact same thing.
Same thing
And they're
over
sorry.
and over and
Sorry.
over.
Read the manual, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
If there's like multiple issues and you fix one, they don't tell you that you fixed it.
No. They
No.
send you the same checkbox.
Over and over. So, so we thought we're doing our due diligence, and, we're getting very upset because I'm like, okay, so we handle the permissions, policy, notice form. What more could we do? Another aspect of it is somewhere in that notification, you have to say on like your Play Store. I was right there. Let's see if I still have internet. Nebraska Medicine Play Store. So in our description on the Play Store, we actually did put like we COVID app, right? Because we were like, okay, so maybe you need to put it in your description that you need to have that, even though some other COVID apps don't have that, right? You start looking at other ones, but now in here, it's yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah, nice. So we're going, okay, so is that what they need to get us through this of discussion, and eventually that did get through, but it wasn't part of the process, right? Because it's part of your app content. And when you're publishing overview, when you change something, you have to wait for that submission to go through. So I wasn't too sure if that was the issue because we got rejected, but it was sitting there waiting. So I'm like, oh, all right. And then one of the things that we did an appeal, and I think there's somewhere you can put it, we even have a a YouTube video that we shared. We kept trying to share with Google that like talks you through like every single place where we we did this. Because does someone really look at it? Right? Does someone really look at the disclosures in a review, or do they just go, like you said, 30 minutes? Yeah, it looks good. Or is it the person, or because of COVID, they're really just scrutinizing us more? But we have a video.
We got heavily politicized.
Yep. Yeah, about all these things. And I'm like, oh, all right. So like if I like just reviewing this, it's like, man, so to get a good app, I need a good policy. I need to write a good privacy policy. I need to make sure of my disclosures. What's my description in my store? I gotta have YouTube evidence about, if I get, all these things. And yet I didn't write any Kotlin code. So it's like, oh, how do we just keep getting through this? So let's oh, here we go. Another thing that we did is we made a prominent disclosure table for our appeals that tells you, like, for this permission, you go here, and then here are the steps that to get there, right? Just kept trying to, so if that person reading it, just go, here you go. Here's another one. Here's how you use Bluetooth. Here's how you call a phone, camera, right? I don't know if this provided any value, but like we got beat on access Wi-Fi state, and then we're like, wait, Wi-Fi is not a protected permission. Why are you guys beating us up on this? Wi-Fi is pretty much enabled, but we put it in there. So that's why I start questioning, like, is that email lying to us about what they want? All right. So hopefully everyone's with me. These are all the things that we're trying to prepare. And if I can help someone, like just these type of things to get through, let's do it. So you do have an appeal. So when you get a rejection in that nice nasty gram that they send you, you can go into the story and you do an appeal and you write description. And that's where a lot of this, you put the YouTube link, we put this in to show it. The other things like, let's see, I'll start bottom down for this. When you do the appeal, all they do is tell you, hey, thanks for contacting us. They've received it. And then it seemed like we got a longer, like, things we need to do for this COVID, which were all the same things. It was like the rejection letter again. But one of the things I learned about this is because of the reply right here, you can keep replying and ask them questions. Like you don't have to appeal, or they don't have contact support. This is actually your email list to keep it. So I can also imagine they have some disclaimers on there that says, please be nice to the person who's replying it, because they will kick you off or ban you from replying to those emails. Because I can just imagine that people have probably sent them some nasty grams through their about their apps. But some of the things I did was like, hey, we were talking about, app content, is it the app content why we're getting rejected? Or since the privacy policy is not up to date yet because we're waiting for it to publish, is there a timing? Someone's not looking at it. And all they do is send back, like, please make updating your prompt disclosures. I'm like, oh, still don't know what, exactly they wanted. And then, somewhere around here, I say like, mark below and make some changes. I think this is stuff they sent us. And I was trying to get, can I get a clarification of a specific example? And they would like look into it, but somewhere up here is like the key word about like you're on your own. Like I kept asking, can you specifically tell us like one thing, like sensitive information? And of course, nice Brooklyn over here. We do not offer support over the phone, so they can't call them. And they can't comment on your plan implementation. If you think you're in compliance, please submit again. Right? It's like the boilerplate. Like they're just saying that they can't. You can reply and ask them questions. They're just not going to respond, and they're just going to say if you need understanding, look at some more reviews, but they're not going to help you. Right? Oh, all right. So I would say this is we're probably August, September. Somewhere around the meetup group. Right here. Let's see, where am I?
just want to know steps to reproduce or your error. Like,
Yep.
give me the steps to reproduce.
Yeah. Yeah. So through all this, right? I'm gonna test what I truly believed got us through is this. Like at the beginning of it, internet's not working. All this would have is that internet policy that says like all the things we use. But here you go. This is what I really believe got us through. we made another pop-up that says our app has COVID. We just made it painfully obvious. And after we did that, it was accepted.
Wow.
And I'm like, was it the problem of disclosures? Did anyone actually read that? You know, it did take a couple days, but was that really the key? They just wanted to say, like in your app, you are saying that you have a status app. And I believe that that is what got us through, putting a little dialogue that just says we're a status app. Now it's in their shared preference unless they uninstall, blah, blah, blah. It's there, you'll never see it. And I've gone back and forth, like, should it be shown before you log in or after? And I just went, just do it before. I want Google or whoever is reviewing this just to say, yes, you have a status app and you are good. So, you know, these are like the lessons learned of you know, just a couple months. You know, I don't know if anyone else has medical health apps, you know, stick with those finance or things like that because it was so much easier, right? But, you know, because of the scrutiny and because we had to check that box, this is the things that I've lived with for the last couple months. And we probably been rejected like 20 times. Just like, oh, let's try this. What do they need? What do we do this? Let's skip our bill, just put on our sheet, submit it up. Let's see if they take this, right? How can we get this through? And these were all the things I just learned. But kind of the full story was that line in the front of the COVID-19 app that said, hey, you need to make this painfully obvious for your user was the thing you need to alert users and like what's new. So the only thing I'll end is now if we go, hey, we're gonna remove this, I have to go through this whole process again, like have a pop that says, oh, we're no longer a COVID app.
Obviously, you have a nice screen to just change.
Change it, but yeah, so there you go. That's what I just
Well,
wanted to
based
share.
off of that description, it just says you need to update the App Store listing.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're saying.
Yeah, but you know, I there's a couple of times I just sat down and read through this whole thing and followed the links, watched the videos, and I kept thinking, all right, maybe I do know something more. No, I don't.
It feels like maybe what they're trying to say also is before you show any permission prompts, you should say that you are a COVID app to prevent them from so basically prevent you from taking information that is maybe potentially like problematic for a collection of COVID. Like if you're collecting COVID information, they want you to tell them before you request any OS permissions. I think that might be in also your terms.
Yeah. So these are all things. Yeah, what do you got out there?
Was it a new app submission or was it an update?
No, this was an update. This was
Really?
Yeah. So this,
Was it a rejected update or did they take you off the store?
no, our app was still live. It's just our submission was rejected because we weren't violating any terms. We were just getting rejected for the type of content policy because we checked that button.
I see.
But it had been out. They think they've had the mobile app for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. So
We had a similar situation because we're real money gambling or daily fantasy sports. And there's special policies just for that in Google too. And we were actually taken completely off the store once. And we got all kinds of emails just like that meant basically nothing. And we're just guessing in the dark until we finally hit the right thing, just like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you get
Yeah, we had to. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, then you get a lot of like added craft where like it was a solution that you probably didn't need, and then like if you remove it, is that gonna break it? Like
yeah, there's all sorts of stuff in there now that I'm like, oh,
we should probably clean that up.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. So
Now you need to make it.
Yeah, we're.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, you go.
I was gonna say we were in a similar boat. I work on a gambling app in my free time, It's not like traditional Vegas versus you app, but it's like PvP gambling. And we were out live right before the Super Bowl, and like they grew, a couple thousand users, and then they yanked us off the Play Store entirely. And there was months of back and forth, hundreds of pages of legal documents being passed, and like the last straw was for us to change like anything that said money at stake was supposed to be updated to like I had it pasted here. It was supposed to be updated to just dropped my book here. Like updating money at stake to money for contest or something, and then that would like put us within the compliancy set of what they expected for gambling. It was for a little subsection of gambling. It's not traditional gambling, but it was. We got to the point where we're going to resubmit a new app with a new app ID, and then they finally accepted it 2 months later. Ridiculous.
Well,
All right,
It
great.
was $10 matchup to $10 at stake was the deal breaker, I guess. I'm just reading the messages from February.
No, and like every time you got an email response or something, it comes like at midnight. So whoever's doing the review, it's like, so every time we did something, like it's just days, like, of getting something of legal or making a change, submitting, you go through days where there are times on like a Saturday night, if I got an appeal, I replied, hey, can you help us or something, right?
I got you, you son of a gun.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I didn't see the comments. Sorry about not having dark mode.